What happened to Conor McGregor? Let's check it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Matt to the Max. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into this video, make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, make sure to turn on the notification bell. That way you don't miss more content on Matt to the Max. So, Conor McGregor didn't go the way I think that he wanted to in that fight for obvious reasons. I think that's even an understatement. But let's kind of dive into it. I watched the fight. Now, I will say I am new to UFC now that's on Paramount Plus. I love that it's on Paramount Plus because I used to watch WWE on Peacock, and then it switched to ESPN, and I'm not paying that amount a month for ESPN. So UFC came to Paramount Plus, and I said I already have Paramount Plus. It's a reasonable streaming service, and I'm excited for UFC. So this is the third UFC fight that I have seen. I watched the first one in January, where it was Gaethje versus Patty. Then I watched the incredible White House UFC fight, Freedom 250, Ilya versus Gaethje. Such a fantastic fight. So obviously new to the sport, but I have been enjoying it. I really like it. And so that brings us to Holloway versus Conor McGregor 2. Now, I will say, even though I am new to the sport, I've seen some of the fights because they are available on Paramount Plus. And I've been watching Max Holloway. I liked his fight versus Justin Gaethje. And honestly, the betting odds were correct. I would have had Holloway winning this fight in some capacity through some way, even if it went to decision. But let's talk about Conor McGregor walking out to the arena, because I know a lot of people have been talking about, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of theories about what is happening. So I decided I'm going to give my take on this because I think I got a little bit of a different perspective. So first, him walking to the cage definitely did not have that same Conor McGregor energy. He did not look like himself. That's very clearly stated. I know a lot of people have talked about it. I agree with that part. And then we get to him taking off the shoes and kind of stumbles a little bit, and he didn't quite put all his pressure on his leg as that was shown. And I do agree with that. And then like even him in the cage, like he did the Conor McGregor strut, but again, didn't feel like he wanted to be there. And obviously what happened, he threw the kick, had some type of injury to his leg, either meniscus or ACL tear is what has been possibly reporting. I do find it interesting. Had not had really any updates about it other than a leg injury. And I get there's some type of, personal boundaries. And also you don't want to say exactly what's wrong with you in case he is, negotiating with the UFC for another fight. Which, I mean, I don't think the draw will be as big as this one. But they gave CM Punk 2 fights. If they can make another fight, I think they should. But that really depends on a lot of different things. But let's talk about, I think, the lead up to the fight. I don't know. I thought something like they said it was like peak McGregor with these interviews and everything, and maybe it was. And again, I didn't watch when he was at his peak. I can't say for sure, but it felt kind of forced. I don't really know how to describe it, and I can't really tell you exactly, like pinpoint it. Oh, it was in this interview or whatever. But just the way he was talking and stuff, I don't know. It felt slightly off to me in some way, in the Conor McGregor way of like, you got to see this fight or I'm going to win and I'm going to do all this. And I mean, it kind of goes to his ego and his character, but I don't know. It felt forced to me. So I'm not exactly sure why or how. It's just the feeling that I got when I was watching those interviews. And for the fight itself, again, as I said, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, did he throw the fight? And did he know he was hurt and all of this? I think he knew he was hurt. I think he had a pre-existing injury. I know they were showing him fighting backstage and he looked okay. Maybe he had some type of assistance with that. Again, I can't personally say, and I know a lot of people have already talked about it, so there could be some inaccurate or correct information. We don't know. I'll just say my perspective on it. I think he knew he was hurt, but also I know he's had a lot of legal problems, and I'm sure he has to pay off whatever kind of settlements or rulings that he's had. I don't know the exact amount of money that he owes. So I think he got hurt, knew that if he backed out, he wasn't getting paid. So if he didn't get paid, he couldn't pay off any of his debts or these court rulings or these legal fees. So if he didn't fight, he wasn't going to get paid. And I think he got hurt, still went through with the fight, even though he knew he was not going to win. And with that, the fight went how it was. I think he wanted to throw one big thing, and I don't know why he would. I think he could have done some great boxing maybe, or some more hand-to-hand instead of throwing kicks. And I know he's fought with one leg before, so it was very interesting that he just wanted to get out of there very quickly. I think he didn't want to be there. I know people are saying maybe did he bet against himself and all this stuff. I, again, don't know. But I will say that will probably be revealed at some point if there is any kind of investigation. I know, as we saw with Class A and the MLB, about him throwing certain pitches and betting on that. So I think that will be discovered at some point. Obviously, we're not going to know right now. We're only a few days removed. But I do find the whole situation very interesting, and Conor McGregor definitely looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. And again, I think that he knew he was hurt. That's the big thing. I think people might be understating, or people might not agree with, but I think he knew he was hurt going in, and whatever kind of pain management they were giving him wore off, and he knew he maybe had one big kick, and he wanted to get out there very quickly. And there's a possible reason for that. If he wanted to get the fight out of the way quickly to negotiate maybe a second fight, then he didn't want to take more damage than what he had to. He didn't want to get hit more than what he had to, and he barely got hit other than his leg injury. So he's maybe like, hey, I'm going to have this leg injury. We'll get it healed up, and I'll go fight in the next UFC fight. So we'll see where that goes, and if the UFC would want to have him fight again. I think yes. I think bring him back. I don't know if Holloway would be a good fight for him at this point in his career and his current body. But hey, Nate Diaz, I've seen some people throw that out. You know what? That would just be fun. I don't know who would win that. I don't know if even both guys would be ready for it, but that would be fun. And I was surprised he wanted to make a comeback, but I think this financial motive of his legal issues was the main driving factor. And I think maybe he didn't want to do it in the first place, but he felt he had to raise some funds and capitals to pay for these legal issues. Don't know for sure. I don't know if we'll ever know. Maybe there'll be a dark side of the UFC on Vice. Maybe then we will know what's happened in 20 or 30 years. But let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Conor McGregor fight again? Do you feel ripped off by the fight? Do you think there's other alternative motives for Conor McGregor? Do you think he threw the fight? Let me know in the comment section. I'll catch you in the next video.